You're going to need to be able to define or identify what a monomial is, binomial, or trinomial. So what I would like you to do is just pause this video and copy down this chart, so that way as I'm talking about whether or not it's a polynomial or not, you can go through and make notes on the side. Alright, now that you've taken some time to copy down this particular chart, let me just go through it. First you're going to see the expression, and it's going to ask you whether or not it's a polynomial. And it is a polynomial because it's just a fraction with a variable. And we call this a monomial, which is what we've been dealing with in the past few sections. The second one is a trinomial. It's a trinomial because there's three monomials put together: a number and a letter, and then number, letters, and then exponents. So when you look at this, you have the sum of three different monomials, which makes it tri, meaning three. Okay, mono meaning one. The next one they go through, and it's just an example of not a monomial. So again, it's dividing by that letter. You can't divide by a letter and have it be a monomial. Last one, well, there's two. So you guessed it, right? It would be binomial, meaning two. So there's two different terms put together. On to the next slide. Alright, so again, if you can pause this video, copy down what you see. I'll go over everything in a second. Alright, so let's go through this. In choice number A, in letter A, you have to look at each term and figure out what the degree is going to be in each one. So this first one, 2xy, because I have two variables, it's the second degree. Okay. When I look at the next monomial, I've got two x's, one y, and two z's. So all together, there's 5 variables, so it's fifth degree. So when you look at what the terms are, they're just going to separate the two. Look at what the degrees are, and then in order to state what the degree of the polynomial is going to be, you just figure out each one, and then the highest one is the degree of that particular polynomial. Okay. In part B, again, you look at each one. Okay. You separate out all of your terms. So you have x, 3x squared, and 2. Numbers don't have a degree, so they're just 0. That's why there's a 0 there. The 3x squared has two variables, two x's, so that's a 2. And then just x is 1 degree. So the highest value, the highest degree of a monomial in this particular polynomial is 2. Last one. We separate out each. We're going to look for the degree of each. Okay, highest one is 3. Okay, so now we've got a couple of examples. So what you need to do, if they're asking you to arrange polynomials in ascending order, they mean to increase from left to right. So you go through each of your particular terms. So 7x squared has second degree. We've got 1, which is 0. And then this 3x cubed is 3. So if we're writing it in increasing order from left to right, you're going to start with the 1, because it has 0. The next one is going to be my negative x squared, so minus 7x squared. And then you have your plus 3x cubed is your last. Okay, now pause the video and take a look at the next one, and then come back and we'll go over it. Alright, so again, numbers always have a value of 0. Next is 7, because I had 5 and 2. X squared a cubed is 5, and xa is going to be 2. So if we're going from increasing left to right, we're going to start with the 4, followed by the negative xa, plus my x squared a cubed, and then lastly, negative 2x to the 5th a squared. Alright, this time we're going to be doing it the opposite way we did in the last slide. So we're going to start with the highest degree. So looking over the 4, I'm just going to write underneath each term what the degree is going to be. Okay. I'm going to start with the highest one, which is negative x cubed. Next, 4x squared, followed by negative 7x plus 21. Looking at the last example, number 4, we've got our first term, which is third degree, followed by sixth, second, and then 0. So I'm going to start with the highest one. My highest term is going to be 6, so it's negative 8x to the 4th y squared is first, followed by, yes, the 4x squared times y. Next one would be my plus, I'm just going to keep writing it on the next line, xy, and lastly, minus 12. Alright, that is writing polynomials in decreasing and ascending order.